Welcome to Discussions with D.T. Parker. Now, you will notice that I did start Discussions with D.T. Parker a little bit later than I normally do. And for the folks that are watching this back on YouTube, it don't apply to you. But for my regular Twitch folks and folks that get onto IG Live every day to watch these live, I'm going to change the times one more time because it seems like, hey, Tyler, baby, it seems like this is probably a better time than 2:30. So 3 o'clock, we will go live every day if you can make it, YouTube people, on IG Live or Twitch at I am DD Parker. That's IAMDEEDEE Parker. But anyway, welcome. Discussions with DD Parker. Twitch is active. IG Live is active. What up, Tyler, baby? And YouTube, thank you for the folks that do run this back. Hey, Niles. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. Appreciate you very much. All right. We got another good one today. I mean, he does irritate my soul, but this one was a good one that I wanted to cover today. So let me get up this video. I apologize because I thought I had everything ready to go. Here we go. Pull this video up. Here we go. Now, this is a video of Cam Newton and rapper Young Miami. In this clip, he talks about how men carry pressure, responsibility, and having to stay solid. So today's discussions with DD Parker is, do men not get sympathy? Do men not get sympathy? So take a listen. Here we go. It already started playing. Hold on. Let me run it back.
Society can feel sorry for a woman. And that's not to negate or suppress. There's women that will say, I'm going through a lot. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Hey, Tasha.
Baby, what you need?
Welcome. Mm-hmm.
We're going to speak so much life into you and get you up and get you back and get you rocking and rolling with whatever your circumstance is. And your circumstance can be created off of what you did.
Tasha,
as a man.
Like you're the first, and you're the... Okay, as more folks start rolling in, I'm going to replay this clip. But, folks, Discussions with DD Parker, welcome. Today's topic is, does society not have sympathy for men? And this comes off of an interview Cam Newton did with Young Miami.
There's women that will say, I'm going through a lot. Mm-hmm. Cool. Baby, what you need? Mm-hmm. We're going to speak so much life into you and get you up and get you back and get you rocking and rolling with whatever your circumstance is. And your circumstance can be created off of what you did. Mm-hmm. As a man, if I'm wallowing in my own sorrow, and if I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing it, society gonna look at you and like, all right, cool. Nigga, you ain't a man. I got 9 kids. You think they care about if I'm feeling good or not?
But that's back to what we were saying earlier. Like, men don't show that vulnerable side. Like, y'all not gonna get online and just everything is all good.
Because really, nobody cares.
That's not true. You don't show it.
It's not
because in your mind it's like they don't care. That's not true. That's what you told me that earlier.
I'll give you an example.
Hey,
a girl
baby.
or a woman comes online and says, I'm broke. I just lost everything. Mm-hmm. She can still find someone that can change that dynamic to some capacity in any type of way. Mm-hmm. Right? If a dude says, I'm broke, I done lost everything, instantly he lost all his value. Mm-hmm. If you can't provide or do nothing for the people that you come in contact with, you're meaningless as a man. Mm-hmm. That's what society has trained us to be. Mm-hmm. We have to be providers. We have to protect. When something happened with you and your man, y'all cuddled up or whatever situation, and you hear a bang, 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 bang downstairs. If that man says, Carisha, go downstairs and see what's going on.
You better not. You better not.
You got to be on the front line.
Yeah.
If something happens to my son, his mama going to call me and say, hey, this is what happened. It's my job to put a security in her heart to say, when I hang up that phone, she know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Women don't have that same standard, nor are they expected to either. So when you're saying men have to be selfish, that's the reason. When men have,
like I said, that was very lengthy. Thoughts on what Mr. Cam Newton said. It was a lot to unpack, but today's discussions with Dee Dee Parker is, does society not have sympathy for men? And men, it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. It kicked off yesterday, June 1st. So, reason why we are talking about this today is one of the reasons, because it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And two, does he have some points in what he is saying? Does he have some valid points? Y'all know this is Discussions with Dee Dee Parker. We chat. Do we need to hear the video back? Again, the video is lengthy and it is a lot to unpack. But I will run it back. I'm waiting till it comes to the end because it was even more he was saying after I stopped playing the video. But does society, hey Chev, does society not have sympathy when it comes to men? Did you agree, like I said, with the points that Cam was making? And then that was Cam Newton. And I'm going to run this back for the folks in the video because what we're talking about is based off some of the things that Cam Newton said in the video. He had an interview with Young Miami and was telling her basically, the things that men have to do, women are not held to that standard. But we didn't write the Bible. This is where I go back to the Bible, because in the Bible it said that's what a man's duty is. No, am I mistaken? Hey, the real Major Beats. I'm just saying, I thought that was what. Anyway, Tasha said, F him. New folks, welcome. Discussions with Dee Dee Parker. We're discussing today, does society not have sympathy for men? Does society just not care about men and their feelings? And it comes off an interview that Cam Newton did with Young Miami. Take a listen. It's lengthy, so here we go. Keep listening.
Society can feel sorry for a woman, and that's not to negate or suppress. There's women that would say, I'm going through a lot. Mm-hmm. Cool. Baby, what you need? Mm-hmm. We're going to speak so much life into you and get you up and get you back and get you rocking and rolling with whatever your circumstance is. And your circumstance can be created off of what you did. Mm-hmm. As a man, if I'm wallowing in my own sorrow, and if I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing it, society going to look at you and like, all right, cool. Nigga, you ain't a man. I got 9 kids. You think they care about if I'm feeling good or not?
But that's back to what we were saying earlier. Like, men don't show that vulnerable side. Like, y'all not gonna get online. It's just everything is all good.
Because really, nobody cares.
That's not true. You don't show it.
It's not
because in your mind it's like they don't care. That's not true. That's what you told me that earlier.
I give you an example. A girl or a woman comes online and says, I'm broke. I just lost everything. Mm-hmm.
The lies he tells.
She can still find someone that can change that dynamic to some capacity in any type of way. Mm-hmm. Right? If a dude says, I'm broke, I done lost everything, instantly he lost all his value. Mm-hmm. If you can't provide or do nothing for the people that you come in contact with, you're meaningless as a man. Mm-hmm. That's what society has trained us to be. Mm-hmm. We have to be providers. We have to protect. When something happened with you and your man, y'all cuddled up or whatever situation, and you hear a bam, 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 downstairs. If that man says, Carisha, go downstairs and see what's going on. You got to be on the front line. Yeah. If something happens to my son, his mama going to call me and say, hey, this is what happened. It's my job to put a security in her heart to say, when I hang up that phone, she know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to figure it out. Yeah. Women don't have that same standard, nor are they expected to either. So when you're saying men have to be selfish, that's the reason. When men have to get up and do it and they don't show it, that's the reason. Because nobody ain't going to feel sorry for us. You got to do something. And if you don't, that's not manlike. Don't nobody care about you and your feelings, nigga. You gotta figure these things out. And every man knows that feeling. Because when your family call on you, they don't care that you got a headache. They honestly don't care that you got a...
Okay. I've heard enough. Tasha said he is one of the most problematic men in our society. Girl. What are your thoughts on this video? And does he have any valid points? Does society not have sympathy for men? I do agree that, I was getting ready to say that, Mama. Mama said, I agree with him. Men are taught from a young age, don't cry, man up. And somebody else made a comment and said, all facts, men can't be vulnerable. It's a sign of weakness. We have to man up no matter the circumstances. I'm with you, Mama. I agree with him because, yes, y'all are taught men at a very early age that showing any sign of emotion is a weakness. And I hate that for y'all because that might be why some of y'all do the things that y'all do and lash out. And I'm just saying, I watch a lot of Investigation Discovery, and I know there's a whole Snap channel on Oxygen with women, but you men out there doing this, killing. I just saw a guy that lured out his baby mama. She was due to give birth any day, and shot her, and murdered her, killed her, and shot her in the head. So I'm just saying, if you guys were able to maybe display, your feelings, maybe a lot of you would not have all this built up anger. Not all of you, because I don't want to say all of, but there's a lot of you with some built up anger. What up, Sincerely Me? We are chatting today about a video I just played. I'm going to have to break this video into pieces because it's very long. With Cam Newton and Young Miami. He did an interview where he was basically talking about, the question today is, does society not have sympathy for men? Does society not have sympathy when it comes to men? I'm going to play a clip of this video because it's very long for the new folks. And I always keep
sorry for the man. Society can feel sorry for a woman. And that's not to negate or suppress. There's women that would say, I'm going through a lot. Mm-hmm. Cool. Baby, what you need? Mm-hmm. We're going to speak so much life into you and get you up and get you back and get you rocking and rolling with whatever your circumstance is. And your circumstance can be created off of what you did. Mm-hmm. As a man, if I'm wallowing in my own sorrow, and if I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing it, society gonna look at you and like, all right, cool. Nigga, you ain't a man. I got 9 kids. You think they care about if I'm feeling good or not?
But that's back to what we were saying earlier. Like, men don't show that vulnerable side. Like, y'all not gonna get online. It's just, everything is all good.
Because really, nobody cares.
That's not true.
Hey, Dad, I'm gonna tell you what we're
talking about. You don't show it.
It's not
because in your mind, it's like they don't care.
And too, I have to, because if they do show that, hey, OC, if they do show that vulnerable side, then what do females normally call them? Because look at Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. She got into it with her co-host, Tori, and called him a hoe. Ooh, child, it got ugly. She hit definitely below the belt. But, so, what up, new folks? Welcome to Discussions with Didi Parker. Today's topic is, in light of Men's Health Awareness Month, we are discussing today, does society not have sympathy when it comes to men? Does society not have sympathy when it comes to men? And I just played a clip of Cam Newton in this Young Miami interview. So I'm going to play the rest of the clip. Here it goes.
A girl or a woman comes online and says, I'm broke. I just lost everything. Mm-hmm. she can still find someone that can change that dynamic to some capacity in any type of way, right? If a dude says, I'm broke, I done lost everything, instantly he lost all his value. If you can't provide or do nothing for the people that you come in contact with, you're meaningless as a man. That's what society has trained us to be. We have to be providers. We have to protect. When something happened with you and your man, y'all cuddled up or whatever situation, and you...
But to see, that's the part I'd be like, okay, but it's in the Bible that you guys are supposed to be providers. And that's the part I get a little bit like, how could you complain about something that it says in the Bible? You men are supposed to be the providers of the family. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm wrong, but it says it in the Bible. Mama said black men especially, hey Sonny, aren't taught to be vulnerable because it's considered weak. A lot of us growing up, men and women were never taught how to love. I know, Mama, you said in your era, your family members barely said the L word. I've definitely barely heard it in my family. But I knew my mama and Carl loved me in some way. But I knew definitely Mama loved me. Even if it wasn't said, I felt the love. But does society not have sympathy when it comes to men? And again, I don't want to make this into a biblical thing, but it does, again, say in the Bible that is the role of the man, to be a provider. This is not, I don't feel like, a role that society put on you. And I guess as a leader, isn't that what leaders do? I'm sorry. I'm bringing it back because y'all talk about this leader, especially we got one on here talks about this leader and being a leader, but isn't that what makes a great lead? I'm gonna play the rest.
Yeah, downstairs. If that man says, Carisha, go downstairs and see what's going on, you gotta be on the front line. Yeah. If something happens to my son, his mama gonna call me and say, hey, this is what happened. It's my job to put a security in her heart to say, when I hang up that phone, she know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to figure it out. Yeah. Women don't have that same standard, nor are they expected to either. So when you're saying men have to be selfish, that's the reason. When men have to get up and do it and they don't show it, that's the reason. Because nobody ain't going to feel sorry for us. You got to do something. And if you don't, that's not manlike. Don't nobody care about you and your feelings, nigga. You gotta figure these things out. And every man knows that feeling. Because when your family call on you, they don't care that you got a headache. They honestly don't care that you got a sickness. You the man of this house. And you gotta do something about it.
Yeah.
Society
doesn't.
What did y'all think about? I played we broke it up into pieces because, child, it was a lot to unpack. But after hearing the whole video in its entirety, like, what are your thoughts? Does he have some valid points to the things that he, is initially saying? And me and Mama, we both agreed. I do agree that, black men, you guys, unfortunately, are not able to be vulnerable and show emotion. And I think that's, again, plays a large part to why some of you suffer from mental illness. Because let's keep it a bean. Mental illness, mental health in our community is not talked about enough. It is a thing, and especially amongst, I feel like, our black men. You know what I'm saying? And I know I watch Investigation Discovery, and you want to call it TV, but those be stories, and it be men, it be women too. But it be men too, snapping and going crazy and killing baby mamas. So Pat said I agree with him. What part did you agree with, Pat? You agree with the whole thing? Everything he said? So you feel as a man, because you are a black man, that black men don't get any sympathy. Y'all get up and y'all do what y'all have to do. Y'all do what y'all have to do. without anybody saying, hey, how you feeling today? You okay? You need something? You just do it. You do it without thinking. Mama said, I agree. He is correct with what he said. Everything? You liked everything? I did like the point that Young Miami did bring up the fact that, they don't express their vulnerability. But then if they do express their vulnerability, because I can argue that fact, if they do, then what are some women calling them? They calling them all types of you-know-whats and all out their name. Because look at Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. She got mad at her co-host and called him all types of names, child. It was a mess. So, I agree with that part. I don't think men are given a safe space to be vulnerable or express their feelings. And that's a shame because I'm the biggest crybaby in the world. But if it's one thing for sure, two things for certain, I'm not digging in my nose. I got a hair and it's bothering me on my face. One thing's for certain and two things for sure. I'm a cry if something happened to me. I just got a flat tire the other day and woe to me. So, Mama said, I have heard a few black men say no one understands what black men have to deal with, which is true. But I got to play devil advocate, Mama. I don't want to make it seem like he's fussing about the role, but it almost seems like he's fussing about the role like it's unfair. I mean, that's what I got from one part of the video. Like it's unfair because men have all of this placed on them, but it was the role that was assigned to you by God. So, I don't know. Hold on. I want to go back to the beginning and play this again.
Society doesn't feel sorry for the man. Society can feel sorry for a woman. And that's not to negate or suppress. There's women that would say, I'm going through a lot. Mm-hmm. Cool. Baby, what you need? Mm-hmm. We're going to speak so much life into you and get you up and get you back and get you rocking and rolling with whatever your circumstance is. And your circumstance can be created off of what you did. Mm-hmm. As a man, if I'm wallowing in my own sorrow and if I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing it, society gonna look at you and like, all right, cool. You ain't a man. I got 9 kids. You think they care about if I'm feeling good or not?
But that's back to what we were saying earlier. Like, men don't show that vulnerable side. Like, y'all not gonna get online. It's just, everything is all good.
Because really, nobody cares.
That's not true.
Well, that part I do definitely agree with. Like, again, y'all don't really have a choice, good or bad, as a man, as a leader, that some of y'all swear y'all want to be. You know what I'm saying? I put air quotes because I hear when y'all say, oh, leaders and men leaders, but then I feel like some of y'all really don't want to lead. And no disrespect to Cam, but when I hear this, when I'm listening to this video, it sounds like he's almost complaining about the position as a man. Like, and he's saying, oh, well, society made it this way. No, actually, homeboy, you need to read your Bible. It's in the Bible that the man is supposed to be the provider. Okay, again, I'm not trying to get biblical, but I am saying. Mama said, I don't think he is fussing. He is saying we need to understand how hard being a man is. Okay, so you don't feel like he's fussing. Okay, let me continue playing the video.
You don't show it.
It's not
because in your mind it's like they don't care. That's not true. That's what you told me that earlier.
I give you an example. A girl or a woman comes online and says, I'm broke. I just lost everything.
Mm-hmm. This part is not true.
She can still find someone that can change that dynamic to some capacity in any type of way, right?
Only person mama.
If a dude says, I'm broke, I done lost everything, instantly he lost all his value. Mm-hmm.
Now, do y'all feel that part is true? If a man loses everything, says he loses everything, Is that man's value now diminished because he lost everything? Is that man's value now diminished because now he's lost everything? I don't think so. Because what is lost, you can always get back. If you are a grinder or you can hustle. You know how to make some money. So I don't know if I agree with that part. Chat, what do you think? Man loses everything. Does that diminish his value? His value is complete. I was gonna do another topic similar to kind of this, where it asked, I can't remember it. It was based on a person's worth, but I can't remember it. But it tied into kind of what we're talking about today. But yeah, chat, what do you think? What do you think about what he said? And then we'll continue playing this. Mama said men don't get the same grace. So you're saying that their value does diminish once they lose everything? I don't know. I mean, I guess in my eyes, but I'm only one person. I can't speak for the masses. To me, it shouldn't, because if the man could get it once, he could get it again, no? I've seen some folks hit bottom and then get it right back. So, I mean, it can be done. Let's continue.
Can't provide or do nothing for the people that you come in contact with. You're meaningless as a man. Mm-hmm. That's what society has trained us to be. Mm-hmm. We have to be providers. We have to protect. When something happened with you and your man...
that's the part I don't agree with. I don't agree that society has put that out there because, hey, Pecan Brown, because isn't that what the Bible says is the responsibility of the man, to be a provider? I don't understand. Is this, man, I gotta ask, is this being a provider a touchy thing for y'all? I'm just, because I get confused when we keep bringing up why is this even a topic of discussion that we keep talking about, because it clearly says what it says. Pecan Brown, today we are discussing, does society not have sympathy for men in light of Men's Mental Health Awareness Month? So does society not have sympathy for men? Mama said, as FA say, men are judged on how they provide financially. And then I don't necessarily agree with FA when he said that, because I think there's levels to providing. And he brings it up. Let's continue to play the video.
And y'all cuddled up or whatever situation, and you hear a bam, 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 downstairs. If that man says, Carisha, go downstairs and see what's going on.
Now, if my man did that, yeah, I'm looking at him sideways. He ain't lying.
You gotta be on the front line.
Yeah.
If something happens to my son, his mama gonna call me and say, hey, this is what happened. It's my job to put a security in her heart to say, when I hang up that phone, she know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Women don't have that same standard, nor are they expected to either. So when you're saying men have to be selfish, that's the reason. When men have to get up and do it and they don't show it, that's the reason. Because nobody ain't gonna feel sorry for us. You gotta do something. And if you don't, that's not manlike. Don't nobody care about you and your feelings, nigga. You gotta figure these things out. And every man knows that feeling. Because when your family call on you, they don't care that you got a headache. They honestly don't care that you got a sickness. You the man of this house, and you got to do something about it.
Hey, DJ Danger. But isn't that what is required of a leader? Sacrifice. A leader sacrifices, as besides this man, that's another story. But now, isn't a leader supposed to sacrifice? Meaning, your feelings come last and the people's feelings come first? I'm just playing devil's advocate. Welcome, new folks. Discussions with Dee Parker. Today we're talking about, does society have sympathy for men? Does society have sympathy for men? And we're basically breaking down this Cam Newton and Young Miami interview where he talks about how men carry pressure, responsibility, and having to stay solid no matter what life throws at them. One guy, I read this comment already, said, all facts, men can't be vulnerable. It's a sign of weakness. We have to man up no matter the circumstances. So, and we agree. I agree with that part. Unfortunately, I got you, Mama. Unfortunately, you know, men are not able to be vulnerable because of, you know, they're taught at early ages that's a sign of weakness, unfortunately. I think if more men were able to express their true feelings, then, you know, maybe these murders wouldn't be so high, but who am I? Mama said, well, the man is the head. Well, that's what I'm saying, Mama. That's, the point that I'm trying to say is I hear what Cam is saying, like, women don't have these same responsibilities, but we're also, according to them, not supposed to be the leaders. The man is supposed to be the leader, and sometimes the leader, despite, you think these kings and these kings that rule, you think people, I mean, yes, their feelings matter, but when they're running a country, not really. Their people matter or don't matter. You know what I'm saying? They might be a selfish king. So I don't know. But there's certain aspects of this interview that, like I said, I do agree with. And then there are certain aspects of this interview that I don't agree with, especially when it comes to the providing part. And like Mama said, me and F.A., we've had this discussion before when it came to, you know, men providing, because not only is it financially, but there's other things to me that comes with a man being a provider, like security. Like he said, security. Because I'm not going to lie. If my man told me if there was an intruder in the house and my man said to me, go check on that, you ain't lying. I am looking at him definitely side eye and different, like, and I'm gonna call my mama and we gonna talk about him like, Mama, you would not believe what this nigga me too. I promise you, we gonna be on there. I'm gonna be like, Mama. She gonna be like, no. Yeah. So, I'm sorry if that's expected of my man. That's part of providing security, no? For me, to make sure that I'm good. My well-being is good. I don't know. New folks, welcome to Discussions with Dee Dee Parker. We have been chatting about this Cam Newton and Young Miami interview. And today's question is, does society not give sympathy to men is the question. Does society not give sympathy to men? Mama said this is true in households with men, but single women mothers with no husbands or fathers face the same issues. You believe so? Because I got probably two people who would probably disagree with you, Mama, but they just not on here yet. So new folks, I'm going to play bits and pieces of this interview because it's very long, and then we'll talk about it in bits and pieces.
Society doesn't feel sorry for the man. Society can feel sorry for a woman. And that's not to negate or suppress. There's women that will say, I'm going through a lot. Mm-hmm. Cool. Baby, what you need? Mm-hmm. We're going to speak so much life into you and get you up and get you back and get you rocking and rolling with whatever your circumstance is. And your circumstance can be created off of what you did. Mm-hmm. As a man, if I'm wallowing in my own sorrow, and if I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing it, society gonna look at you and like, all right, cool. You ain't a man. I got 9 kids. You think they care about if I'm feeling good or not?
And no kid cares about how you feel. They're kids. They only care about how they feel. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. That was okay. Anyway, and then here's Young Miami.
Back to what we were saying earlier, like, men don't show that vulnerable side. Like, y'all not gonna get online and just everything is all good.
Because
and
really,
she has a point. Men don't normally show their vulnerable side, but we've already discussed why that is. because they're taught at an early age that being emotional is a sign of weakness, like I said, which is an unfortunate thing. And then, too, I brought up the fact that if a man does really show that side, I mean, come on, let's be real. I mean, y'all gonna be calling him, some of y'all, not all of y'all, some of y'all gonna be calling him every SP, okay? So, I hear what Young Miami is saying, and I wish more women would allow men to be vulnerable, but anyway. Somebody else wrote, he's 100% correct. Every man knows this. Shaking my head. I wish it could be different. This just shows how that men are telling you how it is, and she keeps saying it's not like that. Well, I guess maybe I need to shut up. I'm not saying it's not like anything. So I want to just make that clear. Because again, I'm not a man. Have no desire to be a man. Okay, let's put that out there. And I don't walk in y'all's shoes every day. So I don't know how hard it is to be a man. But what I do know is that, and again, for me, Mama said it don't sound like he's complaining. It sounds like here, again, we have somebody complaining about the role that was assigned to them. And he said that society kind of put it out there. And I don't believe it was society that made this a thing that men would provide. This has been since biblical days. So let's continue.
Nobody cares.
That's not true. You don't show it.
It's not.
Because in your mind, it's like they don't care. That's not true. That's what you told me that earlier.
I give you an example. A girl or a woman comes online and says, I'm broke.
It's not true either.
I just lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
She can still find someone that can change that dynamic to some capacity in any type of way. Mm-hmm. Right? If a dude says, I'm broke, I done lost everything, instantly he lost all his value.
Mm-hmm. And see, that's the part I don't agree with. But then there'll be some folks out there that will say, no, it's true. But I'm a woman speaking from a woman's perspective. I don't speak for the masses because I know women have different ways of thinking. But to me, like I keep saying, for a provider, there's different levels of providing. Yes, there is a financial aspect that comes with it. Didn't make the rules. But I also think there are other things that come with being a provider. So I don't think it's all financially, and that's just me. Like I said, I don't speak for the masses. There are other women that may be like, hell yeah, that's what a provider is he's supposed to provide for me financially. I think there's levels. There's different levels. To me, it's security, stability, emotional support. I mean, those are just some of the things I think should be included as a provider. What do y'all think? I don't know. What do y'all think? What are y'all thoughts on this? Let me read some more comments. I'm reading some comments from guy said women don't get it because going online venting is what he is talking about. He is talking about his own women not caring about his feelings. That's how we know society doesn't care, because our own women that we care for and provide for doesn't give us a safe space when we are vulnerable, because she has feelings about something we did or didn't do. So they neglect us when we are vulnerable. Or what I have learned, women are taught to be princesses or queens, but they aren't taught how to be of service to their prince or king. They are only taught how to be treated. So receiving is all they know. That's why they treat their sons better than they do the kid's father when they are in the same house. Okay. That's an interesting take right there. I don't know. Women are raised to be princesses and queens and not taught to be of service. I don't know about that. I don't know. to their husbands. Is this man trying to say that I guess women should be grooming their daughters to be wives? I don't know. So what do y'all think about that one, chat? That was a long one. That's why they treat their sons better. See, and I never heard of that one. That they treat the sons better than their kid's father when they are in the same house. I never heard of that one. Fellas, is that true? Fellas, is that true? Do the ladies treat the sons better than y'all? Curious. Minds want to know. But new folks, if I have any, welcome to Discussions with Dee Dee Parker. We are chatting about today. I played back this Cam Newton interview. I'm going to continue to play because we've been playing clips from it and then like just breaking it down. Does society not have sympathy for men when it comes to men? Does society not have sympathy for men when it comes to them and their feelings and them being vulnerable? And we already agreed, we agreed that, yeah, especially black men are not able to be vulnerable because, it's looked at as a weakness, a sign of weakness when a man is vulnerable. Let me play some more of this clip and let's continue.
If you can't provide or do nothing for the people that you come in contact with, you're meaningless as a man. Mm-hmm. That's what society has trained us to be. Mm-hmm. We have to be providers. We have to protect. When something happened with you and your man, y'all cuddled up or whatever situation, and you hear a bam, 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 bam downstairs. If that man says, Carisha, go downstairs and see what's going on.
You ain't lying though.
You got to be on the front line.
Yeah.
If something happens to my son, his mama going to call me and say, hey, this is what happened. It's my job to put a security in her heart to say, when I hang up that phone, she know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Women don't have that same standard, nor are they expected to either. So when you're saying men have to be selfish.
But he said women are, and it's not expected of women, right? Because women are, according to what we be talking about on here, men are supposed to be the leaders, right? So why would that expectation be placed on a woman anyway? So that was pointless to me to make that statement. Why would that even be put on a woman if that is the role of a man? I'm just saying.
That's the reason. When men have to get up and do it and they don't show it, that's the reason. Because nobody ain't going to feel sorry for us. You got to do something. And if you don't, that's not man-like. Don't nobody care about you and your feelings, nigga. You got to figure these things out. And every man knows that feeling.
Hey,
because when your family call on you, they don't care that you got a headache. They honestly don't care that you got a sickness. You the man of this house, and you got to do something about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the chat. Rand saying, Art, we've been discussing today, does society have no sympathy when it comes to men? I ran back the interview with Cam Newton and Young Miami. We've been breaking this up into bits and pieces. Cam basically, said that society doesn't have sympathy when it comes to men. Women get sympathy. Men do not get sympathy. He said most men carry pressure, responsibility, and having to stay solid no matter what life throws at them. I'll run the clip back in a second for my new folks. Again, we've been dissecting this and breaking it down into bits and pieces, and we did agree that, society is not, receptive when it comes to black men or any men, period, expressing their emotions. It's looked at as a sign of weakness. And then Young Miami, she said in this video, y'all don't say anything. Y'all are not vocal when it comes to expressing your feelings. But when they do, and when the ones do express their feelings, for the ones that do express their feelings, let's be honest, what's said about them when they express their feelings? They're called every name in a book. Look at Tori with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. She didn't like something that he said. she proceeded to call this man every name in the book under the sun besides Jehovah Jesus. Okay? She didn't call him that. She called him everything else besides that. But, yeah. So, that's a prime example of a man. Well, not really an example because he wasn't really... They were talking about something, and she did that. But that was the example that I gave. Even if a man does try to express his feelings, then it's looked at as... You see what I'm saying? Hey, God covers me. Rand saying, Art said, as long as we provide, that's what most women care about, no matter what we as men are going through. But Rand saying, Art, that's what I'm saying. Provide, because for me, there's levels to providing. Providing just doesn't mean financially. I know for men, it just means that for you. But if we break it down, what it says biblically in the Bible, it says a number of things. It doesn't just say, I don't even think it has a monetary thing in there. But again, I ain't no Bible thumping Christian, so I don't know 100%. Let's play the first part of this interview back for the new folks.
Society doesn't feel sorry for the man. Society can feel sorry for a woman. And that's not to negate or suppress. There's women that would say, I'm going through a lot. Mm-hmm. Cool. Baby, what you need? Mm-hmm. We're going to speak so much life into you and get you up and get you back and get you rocking and rolling with whatever your circumstance is. And your circumstance can be created off of what you did. Mm-hmm. As a man, if I'm wallowing in my own sorrow, and if I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing it, society gonna look at you and like, all right, cool.
If you don't feel like doing that, society is gonna look at you like you're crazy, because that's a sign. If you, and this is going back, my men, I love y'all. Y'all say y'all want to be leaders, but to sit there and say you don't want to do something and you know it got to get done, how does that make you a leader? You know what I'm saying? Again. Here we go.
You ain't a man. I got 9 kids. You think they care about if I'm feeling good or not?
But that's back to what we were saying earlier. Like, men don't show that vulnerable side. Like, y'all not gonna get online and just everything is all good.
Because really, nobody cares.
That's not true.
He's right.
You don't show it.
It's not
because in your mind it's like they don't care. That's not true.
Let's be honest, if these men got online expressing their feelings and saying how we be on here expressing our feelings, or how I be on here expressing, we would be looking at some of these men like, okay, what's wrong with him? Okay, what he got going on? Is he? So, I hear what she's saying, but
that's what you just told me that earlier.
I give you an example. A girl or a woman comes online and says, I'm broke. I just lost everything. Mm-hmm. She can still find someone that can change that dynamic to some capacity in any type of way, mm-hmm. right? If a dude says, I'm broke, I done lost everything, instantly he lost all his value. Mm-hmm. If you can't provide or do nothing for the people that you come in contact with, you're meaningless as a man. Mm-hmm. That's what society has trained us to be. Mm-hmm. We have to be providers.
He said that's what society has trained men to be. You guys have to be providers. But then I have to go back to the good book and say, isn't that what the good book? Not society. You know what I'm saying? But the book, if you follow the Bible, that's what it says, that men are supposed to be the providers and the leaders. Y'all keep talking about leading, but then it seems like this providing thing is a trigger for some of y'all.
We have to protect. When something happened with you and your man, y'all cuddled up or whatever situation, and you hear a bang, 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 bang downstairs. If that man says, Carisha, go downstairs and see what's going on. You got to be on the front line. Yeah. If something happens to my son, his mama going to call me and say, hey, this is what happened. It's my job to put a security in her heart to say, when I hang up that phone, she know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Women don't have that same standard, nor are they expected to either. So when you're saying...
But that is not the role that was given to us. That's why we don't share that same standard. So to even say that, that's not what was given to us. That role was given to men. So I don't know, child. Again, Mama said he don't sound like he fussing. To me, it sounds like, here we go again. Somebody, another man, fussing about what God assigned him. You know what I'm saying? That ain't something that we're supposed to be worried about. And just like, and no disrespect, I'm not trying to compare, because again, I'm not a man and I cannot walk in your shoes, and I do not know your struggle. I only know my struggle as a black woman, and trust me, we have struggles as well. Maybe not to the magnitude of what you guys go through, but baby, it is a struggle being a black woman. And I'm a chocolate black woman. I ain't no, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to, but what I'm trying to say, yeah, the struggle, it be real. So, you know, just like men have good days, bad days, so do women. Think about the mothers that have to keep, and again, I'm not trying to compare, but what I'm trying to say is the mothers that have to keep going and their feelings are excluded. They got kids that they got to get up and take care of. The kid is sick. They sick. You know what I'm saying? Who cares about who cares about that? You know, you do what you have to do for the people that you love. That's all I'm saying. Let's continue.
Men have to be selfish. That's the reason. When men have to get up and do it and they don't show it, that's the reason. Because nobody ain't gonna feel sorry for us. You gotta do something. And if you don't, that's not man-like. Don't nobody care about you and your feelings, nigga. You gotta figure these things out. And every man knows that feeling. Because when your family call on you, they don't care that you got a headache. They honestly don't care that you got a sickness. You the man of this house, and you gotta do something about it.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you're the man of the house. That's right. That's what the man of the house, the leader. You think these kings, even though they got servants and stuff, they have a whole country that they feelings, I mean, they do come, but sometimes they're placed to the back burner. Again, anyway, Pecan Brown said, I feel that there are women who support men and will hold them down even when she is dealing with her own issues. I do too, Pecan Brown. I don't think we get enough credit as black women. They say, you know what they say, but I feel like black women, to me, most of us are some of the most loyal. We still love our black men down. You know, I wouldn't date, and no disrespect to no other race, because I'm sure y'all some fine people, but I wouldn't, you know, I love my black men down. I wouldn't dare. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't the same on this side, and I don't knock who you love, because you love who you love, and that's your business. But what I am saying is the same loyalty that y'all want from us is not given to us. You know, y'all go. I had F.A. He was sending me stuff just before we got on here about why the men are passport boys and why they go out there and recruit them other women. I don't care about that. See, and this is what I'm talking about. The lack of loyalty from one side, but there's loyalty from one side and y'all want the loyalty, but then y'all don't want. Anyway, new folks, if I have any discussions with Dee Dee Parker. And we're going to keep this short today because, baby, these videos have been 2 hours long. And me putting together a 2-hour video, that video from yesterday, it still has not uploaded to YouTube. And just regardless for my YouTube folks, has still not uploaded to YouTube. And this is the second day. So I'm still trying to get that video up. Trust me, I did not neglect y'all. It's coming up, but we're not doing a 2-hour video today. We're going to keep this to an hour, which is why, for the folks that didn't hear me announce earlier, we're going to push this back. Instead of doing 2:30, we're going to come on at 3 o'clock now. So that way, for the people that come on 3:30, 3:45, probably getting ready to come on now, that way it will be maybe an hour, maybe 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. It won't be this 2-hour window of us just talking. And it's all Didi Parker today. I had no problem. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. So we got another maybe 10 more minutes and then we're gonna hop off, if that. All right, so new folks, if I have any, welcome to Discussions with Didi Parker. We have been chatting about, does society have sympathy for men? Does society have sympathy when it comes to men? And the reason why we're talking about this is, one, it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Two, I wanted to talk about this Cam. Yes, that's Eastern, boo, Eastern Standard Time. Clean, welcome. I know you're on vacation, but welcome to the chat. We have been talking about, and see what I said here? This is why I said we moving this back to 3:00, cause see, we've been chatting about, does society have sympathy when it comes to, men? Does society, hey Des, did you have your baby yet, girl? If you did, congratulations. Does society have sympathy for men? One, we're talking about this because it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And two, this Cam Newton, and hey boo, this Cam Newton, I see my picture in the back, girl? Des is the one that gave me that picture. I still got it, boo. And congratulations. I still got the picture. One of my favorite pictures. Thank you. You're so welcome, boo. Two, I wanted to talk about this because it was Cam Newton. And no, I still think he's a clown. But he brought up some interesting points. I'm actually going to run it back for my new folks so you guys can hear this from the top. Here we go.
Society can feel sorry for a woman. And that's not to negate or suppress. There's women that will say, I'm going through a lot. Mm-hmm. Cool. Baby, what you need? Mm-hmm. We're going to speak so much life into you and get you up and get you back and get you rocking and rolling with whatever your circumstance is. And your circumstance can be created off of what you did. Mm-hmm. As a man, if I'm wallowing in my own sorrow, and if I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing it, society going to look at you and like, all right, cool. Nigga, you ain't a man. I got 9 kids. You think they care about if I'm feeling good or not?
But that's back to what we were saying earlier. Like, men don't show that vulnerable side. Like, y'all not gonna get online. It's just, everything is all good.
All right, so I'm breaking this up into pieces because this video is hella long. I wanted to stop there where Young Miami was talking about men not expressing their vulnerability. We already established that on Discussions with Didi Parker. It's because men are taught at an early age that being vulnerable or showing any emotion is a sign of weakness. Number two, now let's be realistic. If a man got on here displaying all his emotions on this internet, we would be over here judging. Come on now. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant tried Tory, call him everything under the sun but the name of Jesus. So let's be realistic when it comes to that. Let's continue.
Because really, nobody cares.
That's not true. You don't show it.
It's not.
Because in your mind, it's like they don't care. That's not true. That's what you just told me that earlier.
I give you an example. A girl or a woman comes online and says, I'm broke.
And this is not true.
I just lost everything. Mm-hmm. She can still find someone that can change that dynamic to some capacity in any type of way, mm-hmm. right? If a dude says, I'm broke, I done lost everything, instantly he lost all his value. Mm-hmm.
See, and I don't know, and again, I know you men, some of you will probably argue and be like, see, you're not listening to what he's saying, Didi. I just don't, to me, I knew you was going to love this one, clean. To me, I feel like this, and I don't speak for the masses, I'm just one woman, because I have seen folks hit bottom. I feel like my family, like, we didn't start out like the way we started out, but Carl and my mama, they grinded together to get where they needed to go. So I feel like, I feel like if you lose it, you can get it back if you know how to hustle and grind. Clean said the world values is The world values is by our resources. There is no sympathy for a man without resources. This is why we kill to earn them. Okay, I'm gonna keep going because I'm gonna wait to comment. Hold on.
If you can't provide or do nothing for the people that you come in contact with, you're meaningless as a man. Mm-hmm. That's what society has trained us to be. Mm-hmm. We have to be providers. We have to protect. When something happened...
Okay, so I don't agree with this part because I don't feel like society trained anything. Because is it not in the Bible, Mr. Clean Clean, that men are supposed to be providers? So that's where I feel like for me and what he say, that's where the disconnect comes in. Because I'm like, well, it's in the Bible. Society is only... Isn't that what God said that man to be the providers and the leaders? And isn't that what a good leader does? I'm just saying. A leader is supposed to provide. A king, isn't that what he does for his country? He provides for his country, no? Okay.
When you and your man, y'all cuddled up or whatever situation, and you hear a bam, 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 downstairs. If that man says, we should go downstairs and see what's going on. Mm-hmm. Crazy. You got to be on the front line. Yeah. If something happens to my son, his mama going to call me and say, hey, this is what happened. It's my job to put a security in her heart to say, when I hang up that phone, she know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm going to figure it out. Yeah. Women don't have that same standard, nor are they expected to either.
We don't have that same standard because that's not what was assigned to us. That's what, we weren't assigned. That was what God told, what up, got you open easy, God gave y'all to do. Wasn't the woman. So the expectation for us, there is none because that wasn't what we were supposed to be doing. Clean said, but provider does not always mean money. That is an American way of thinking. Who said money, Clean? Because here we go with the money thing. And you might not have said it, but I never mentioned anything about a provider being any. Yes, money is one part of the thing. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Financial is, being a provider is meaning financially. Moneybag said, do you have sympathy for me? Are you a man? If you're a man, I definitely do. Happy Men's Mental Health Awareness Month to you, Moneybags. _ I do. Yes, then I have some sympathy for you. Happy Men's Mental Health Awareness. How you doing? He's on Twitch. Moneybags, we're on Twitch and IG Live, and this will go on YouTube later. Let's continue.
So when you're saying men have to be selfish, that's the reason. When men have to get up and do it and they don't show it, that's the reason. Because nobody ain't gonna feel sorry for us. You gotta do something. And if you don't, that's not man-like. Don't nobody care about you and your feelings, nigga. You gotta figure these things out. And every man knows that feeling. Because when your family call on you, they don't care that you got a headache. They honestly don't care that you got a sickness. You the man of this house, and you got to do something about it.
Yeah. What up, F.A.? See, this is why I said we're going a later time, because all my regulars are popping on. Welcome, new folks, to Discussions with Didi Parker. I guess we could ride this out for another 15 more minutes. Let's do it. We are discussing, does society have sympathy? What up, Rashad? Does society have sympathy when it comes to men? Does society... I'm waiting for my regulars. I did answer your question, Moneybags. I said I do have sympathy for men, and happy men's mental health awareness month. I had to get it out. It wouldn't roll off the tongue. So that's why I said, are you okay? Are you good? Yeah, I'm checking on you. It's y'all month. Does society have sympathy for men? FA. Does society have sympathy for...
You know damn well don't nobody got no sympathy for no man.
And this comes off of an interview that I'm going to play back, and I will play it back in its entirety because we got some folks on here, and I don't feel like breaking it up anymore. And we don't got
talking.
It's with Cam Newton and Young Miami. He is talking about how most men carry pressure, about responsibilities, having to stay solid no matter what life throws at them.
That's right.
V-Rock, yes, I am still on the radio. I'm on Kiss 104.1 on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Thank you for asking. What up, Rashad? Are y'all ready to hear this video back?
Yeah, that's
The question is, does society have sympathy when it comes to men? And happy Mental Health Awareness Month to you two brothers. And I'm going to ask you guys, are you okay? Temperature check. You
God
okay?
is great. God is great and the paper straight.
Okay. I just got to make sure. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Okay, y'all ready to dive in? This is a long video, so Rashad, don't hang up.
society doesn't feel sorry for the man.
Rashad said he's more
Society
chestnut.
can feel sorry for the women. And that's not to negate or suppress. There's women that would say, I'm going through a lot. Cool. Baby, what you need? We're going to speak so much life into you and
Yeah.
get you up and get you back and get you rocking and rolling with whatever your circumstance is. And your circumstance can be created off of what you did. As a man, if I'm wallowing in my own sorrow and if I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing it, society gonna look at you and like, all right, cool. You ain't, I got 9 kids. You think they care about if I'm feeling good or not?
But that's back to what we were saying earlier. Like, men don't show that vulnerable side. Like, y'all not gonna get on online and just
Because
I'm
they
gonna cut
can't.
it here because she said y'all don't show that vulnerable side. I say one, you don't because you were taught that showing emotions is a weakness. And number two, if you got on this good internet showing your vulnerable side, you will be called everything but the son of Jesus. Okay.
Bye.
By women. Absolutely. Okay. Continue.
everything is all good.
Because really nobody cares.
That's not true.
Mhm.
That,
You don't show
That
it
is true.
because in your mind it's like they don't care. That's not true.
That
That's
is
what
true.
you just told me that earlier.
I give you an example. A girl or a woman comes online or it says, I'm broke. I just lost everything. She can still find someone that can change that dynamic to some capacity in any type of way. Right? If a dude says, I'm broke, I done lost everything, instantly he lost all his value. Provide or do nothing for the people that you come in contact with. You're meaningless as a man.
I say
That's
that
what
all the
society has
time.
trained us to be. We have to be
Keep
provided.
saying that.
We have to protect. When something happened with you and your man, y'all cuddled up or whatever situation, and you hear a bang, 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 bang downstairs. If that man says, Carisha, go downstairs and see what's going on.
I'm afraid. Right.
Baby, he ain't lying though.
You
He
got
ain't
on the
Yeah.
front
lying.
line.
Yeah.
If something happens to my son, his mama gonna call me and say, hey, this is what happened. It's my job to put a security in her heart to say, when I hang up that phone, she know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Women don't have that same standard, nor are they expected to either. So when you're saying men have to be selfish, that's the reason. When men have to get up and do it and they don't show it, that's the reason. Because nobody ain't gonna feel sorry for us. You gotta do something. And if you don't, that's not man like. Don't nobody care about your
And you
feelings.
know what's crazy?
You gotta figure these things out. And
Go
That's
ahead.
it.
Go ahead.
And you know what's crazy? I don't have a I don't have an issue with it being that way. Right? I think that men should get support from other men. Men should get support from their friends, their uncles, their fathers, or maybe even their mother, right? Maybe that woman, right? But I believe I believe that's how men are supposed to show up. I think the imbalance is women have neglected this harsh reality for themselves. You know how women always say, they don't realize it, but they'll say, we wasn't this way, we turned out this way. Or like they'll say, if I'm working hard and I gotta work all these jobs, there's no way I can remain feminine. You know how they be like, I've been hardened because I gotta work and my conditions. And we keep saying it doesn't matter what you're gonna do, you're supposed to remain feminine, right? And it doesn't matter what a man goes through, he's supposed to still be able to get out there and keep chucking, right? Because this is the responsibility that we have. You see what I'm saying? And I don't have that as an issue. I don't have an issue with a man. I don't even, me personally, I don't want you going to confiding in your wife about all of there's certain things you can confide in her. Don't get me wrong. But to me, it's a fine line because I also believe you're supposed to protect your wife from certain things, and your wife your wife is not supposed to endure all of the things that you are supposed to you were meant to carry. You were meant to carry these things, not necessarily her. So this is why you have fellowship and friends and different men in your life that you can go confide in, and we can give you that reassurance. But when bad news is knocking, you supposed to answer, not necessarily always your wife. So I never agree with this whole you should be able to go and cry and weep about every little thing with your wife. I don't believe in that. I think your job is to shield and protect your wife from certain things, but yet it's also your wife has an ultimate responsibility too that burdens her. She's supposed to carry certain things no
Yeah.
matter what. It's no matter what. She's supposed to still take care of them kids when she's tired and she's supposed to still and she's supposed to still remain nice and feminine
Yeah.
when she's having a bad day. And she's supposed to still remain respectful when she's not in the mood. And she's supposed to still give herself to her husband when she doesn't want to. And she's supposed to still go cook dinner when she's tired. I'm not saying literally, but that is her responsibility. Just like there are responsibilities of men that I agree with, that I just said, yeah, nigga, I don't want you going to go cry to your wife about every little fucking thing. You know what I mean? Or even something. I think there are things that you supposed to burden. I believe, and I'm gonna end it with this. I believe that the world is meant to be shouldered, carried on shoulders, they not on hips. Hips just supposed to represent women. We supposed to carry the world, not the woman that we've chosen to cover. Like we chosen to marry. We supposed to burden these things. And that's my belief. Yes, can you go to them sometimes on lighter issues or whatever? Sure. But I'm just the type of man that I believe that you're supposed to shield certain things from your wife and your family and your children because it's your burden to bear. It's your burden to bear. It's just also, I also just feel that there are things that women are supposed to shoulder and it's their burden to bear. That's my belief.
Okay. Rashad, what do you think about Cam Newton and what he said?
We're always so quick to speak in absolutes, which is we're issue with, right? Because there are going to be certain aspects of what he said that are right, but everything that he said is not correct.
Yeah.
There are certain aspects of what Pepe said that are correct, but everything that he said is not correct. The way that I view it, you are, as a man, supposed to be able to have moments with your wife. Number one, because she's the person that you're tied to more so than anybody else in this world, or she's supposed to be. Now, having said that, that doesn't mean because what Hefe continued to say, you're not supposed to go crying to your wife about every little thing. No, I don't agree with that. I'm not saying that you're supposed to take every issue that you have to the wife. No, you're right. They're not built to hold all of that.
Yeah.
However, you also have to realize something. We don't really include, whoever it is that you pray to, but we don't include Christ in these conversations enough. Because one of the reasons why you're supposed to be able to be transparent with your wife is because a part of her strength is that she's supposed to be the one praying for you, right?
Mm.
A lot of these battles that we fight are spiritual. Everything is just not physical. Everything, man, I gotta get out here and make this money. We tie the majority of the problems that men have, we tie to finances. And there is so much more that we fight with other than financial strain. And so what I would say to that is that you have to be able to align yourself with someone that can be there for you if you need them. Because let's be honest, sometimes, and I'll put myself out there. Sometimes, you got homeboys and you got accountability partners and all this other stuff, but sometimes you just in that daily grind to where the energy that you have and the the crash, it can occur. It can occur, in a point where it's 10:30 at night. You don't put all the kids to sleep. It's just you and the wife, and you get a text message from the job that just sets you off.
Yeah.
And all your issues don't have crimes. You just need to be able to communicate how challenging things are, and it's not making you sad. Sometimes it's pissing you off. And so, the, the, the thing that I'll bring home, every issue that has nothing to do with sad emotions, right? And we kind of limit it to that. It's just always, yeah, man, you can't cry. Well, I mean, sometimes it ain't about crying. Sometimes I'm confused. Sometimes I don't have the answers. Sometimes, I need to just talk through some things, right? And so if I'm aligning myself with a partner, I would hope and pray that understanding that no, I'm not able to put any of this weight on your shoulders. What I am attempting to do is to just be able to communicate. Because sometimes being able to communicate, sometimes just being able to certain things out loud, that takes that pressure, that stress, off of you. And so my point is, man, no, women are not supposed to be able to bear what we bear, but that does not mean that a man should be completely unable to be vulnerable at a time he feels as though he truly needs whoever that individual is that he's with.
I just disagree. I still disagree with him. I think obviously I agree on the points that we agree on, 'cause obviously because we both agree.
That's only how it
But
works.
there, I just still disagree because when I first said what I said there can be some things you can go and confide in your wife with, right? So I didn't go into specifics and I didn't say anything absolute. I said there are some things you can go to your wife, but it shouldn't be anything, in my opinion. It shouldn't be anything that's heavy because to me, you're not living in reality if you say I should be able to go and talk to my wife and she not take on some of the stress that I'm bringing to
Yeah.
her. That's just not realistic, right? She, yeah, maybe in your worldview she shouldn't, but in reality she a human, and Mama Bear, that nature is going to come out to want to help and protect. You know what I'm saying, and provide in certain areas. So she is going to take on some of that and at least attempt to. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously she loves you. So you know what I mean? Even if she loves you, she would try. So again, I don't think I think men should confide in men and go and do certain, in some of these more extreme, obviously, issues. I'm not talking about, Rashad named the things that I agree with that included the sum. When I said, well, there are some things you can go and talk to your wife about, and the sum was the things he included. If you're having a long day, if you're angry about something, and the fucking boss is pissing them off or something, like things like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a part of the sum. You see what I'm saying? But if you like, man, listen, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna pay these bills. I don't know what I'm doing to do this and X, Y, and Z and yada yada yada. And there is no way for your wife to help you with taking care of this. I don't need her. I don't need you to create that level of stress and anxiety because to me, in your wife, because some of those things that I believe is her responsibility solely, I think it would affect her ability to do those things if she's now stressed out about some of the things you done added some stress to her. That's all I'm saying. You done add some of the stuff you were supposed to bear by yourself. And again, this is why you have male friends. You ain't bearing it by. I don't know why you gotta talk to your wife. Why you can't talk to your friends or your husband? I mean, or your father. You see what I'm saying? Or your uncle, or your mentor, or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Why does it have to be your wife? I don't believe your wife was designed to do that. You know what I mean? I don't. Adam was given work. Hold on. Who did Adam confide in before Eve was created? Because we was out here working and tilling and doing a bunch of stuff before even was even created. So we wasn't confiding in women at that time. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying the wife. you can't confide in your wife. I don't want to, because I'm not speaking to absolutes. I'm just saying there are things, to me, the majority of the real issues that you're having should be confined in a man, in another man. That's my belief. Not light stuff, small stuff, things that is not going to cause any worry or real stress. Yeah, go talk to your wife about. But if you over there stressing about certain shit, then to me, man up and nigga, and then go talk to some men, and they can give you, they can sharpen your not your iron. But your wife, I just think she's in most cases I believe she's going to take on that stress. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's her responsibility. You know what I mean? It ain't about right or wrong or fairness or any of that. I think it's not her responsibility because some of the things I'm saying is not fair to men. It's like, oh, why we got to endure all this stuff? So I'm not caring about if it's fair or not. I'm caring that this is we were designed to do, and this is the hard part of being a man. Nobody said it was easy being a man, and guess what? It's not easy being a woman. So when I hear women complaining about women shit that they supposed to do, I would say, yeah, I get it. It's tough. I get it. It's tough, but this is your job, so do it. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. That's all.
So, you talking in absolutes. I wasn't necessarily just put that on you. That was just, the statement of society, right?
Okay.
Also, but of course we agree. There are things on this topic that we do agree with. And I didn't necessarily say. Well, let me not go there. There was a statement that you did make that's a dangerous statement, right?
Okay.
Man up, right?
Yeah.
That I completely understand. I've heard it my whole life. I
Right.
know why it's being said, but
Right.
saying the word man up, that is almost that is a statement sometimes that will overlook severe situations, right? Um, Man up is used whenever a man is either in pain or if he feels as though he's come to a limit. It's like regardless of whatever the man is talking about. If somebody says man up, basically that means that what, yeah, deal with it. Okay. In some scenarios, I agree, but we can't say that in all scenarios. And one of the things that I talk to my mentees about. One of the things that I talk to my mentees about is I've had probably five partners that have been close to me. Some have been a little bit older, some are younger, that have died of heart attacks.
Mhm.
One of the byproducts of men not being willing to, no, let me not say that, men not being able to find the outlets to identify that pressure relief valve.
Mhm.
One of the byproducts of that is internal.
Mhm.
And it just reminded me that a lot of these brothers have been those types of men that have just held on to a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I
Now,
agree.
but to the point that you made, yeah, you still need to find healthy avenues. You need to go find some accountability partners, men, men in your family and all this other stuff. But sometimes you need to be able to just have someone around you, man or woman. And if it is a woman, it has to be somebody that you give authority to speak to, that gives you authority to speak to. You give them authority to
To
speak to
speak
them
to
in that
you.
particular manner. Yeah, right. And it's all about balance, right?
I don't have an issue with the women, Rashad, though. I said I have an issue with it being your wife. I said I don't have an
Okay.
issue with you
Well,
confiding in a woman. You go, I said your mama. Go talk to
so
your mama. Or go
so
talk to your auntie or whoever, somebody that you I said
shit.
I just don't think it should be your wife.
So
And
watch
maybe
this.
it's just my worldview. You know what
But
I'm
so
saying?
watch this. Here's a scenario, right? If you're having a rough 2 months like I've had a rough 2 months, right?
Okay.
You're walking around and your emotional state is visibly changing.
Yeah.
right? You're
Yeah.
walking around the house and you're engaging with the person that you're with more than anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
For them to have concern
Yeah.
and to come to you and be like, dude, baby, what's
What's
wrong?
up? Yeah.
In a scenario like that, it's unhealthy to just be like, nah, I'm good. Nah,
But I wasn't. I agree,
well,
and
no,
I
no. But
do.
here's the
But I
thing.
wasn't. Okay. Yeah.
I'm just pointing out scenarios,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
where they're justifiable. Not to
I
say
was
that
just
you,
saying in that scenario, you don't have to tell why, but you can confide. But you can say, I'm just going through a lot. I got shit I'm dealing with, and I'm battling with it right now. So I'm just a little stressed out. I know I haven't been. I know my energy has probably been being presented in this family in a way that is obvious that I'm stressed or whatever the case may be. But baby, I got it. I'm gonna get through it. You see what I'm saying? And again, getting through it is confiding in a man or somebody else. But I was just saying, even in that scenario, he don't got to tell her certain things. Sure, he could tell him some things. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, don't hit her with the heavy shit.
well, and so,
Yeah,
and
you know
that's,
what I'm
that's,
saying?
that's the point. So here's the deal, right? And with you being recently married and all this other stuff, man,
Yeah.
you have to understand what your spouse can handle, what
Okay, that's
they
true.
can't, right?
That is true.
So
That's true.
knowing what they can handle and what they can't, that's going to dictate how you maneuver, right?
Agreed.
That's going to determine how you communicate. And so
Right.
it's really on the man. It's on the man to know the woman.
Absolutely, because you can't trust a woman.
Well,
No, I'm
100%.
not saying that in
No,
a
no, no,
mean way.
no.
I'm
Here's the
saying,
point that he's making, Didi. Here's the point that he's
yeah.
making. Women will say all kinds of things that they are not emotionally able to handle.
Right. Because
So
they
they
just
will
want to
say,
show up. They
they'll
might
say,
just want to show up for you.
look, they'll say, baby, look, whatever it is, just tell me. You can tell me. Shit,
Right.
I'll be transparent. Shit, my wife done that shit. And like a
Yeah.
fool, I listen to
Yeah.
her ass.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And she be like, yeah, you gotta be willing to tell me everything. And so one time I was like, fuck it. And I hit her with it. And immediately I just saw the look in her eyes. I'm like, yeah, that
Yeah.
shit heavy, ain't it? I know you can't fuck with
Yeah.
it, but I did that,
To
intentionally.
prove a
Right?
point. He probably trying to prove a point. Yeah.
So based upon all of that, it is still on the man to understand what amount of weight he can unload and what he can. And
You know
that
what's
is a
crazy
part of
though?
that balance.
I agree with that. I think we on the same page. I guess I was kind of already emphasizing on the part knowing what she can and can't
Right.
handle.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was good to actually say because I wasn't saying that. I kind of was jumping already to the end.
Yeah.
That provided the clarity. But you know what's unfortunate, and this is really what Cam Newton is speaking about. He's
Man,
speaking about the
but
backlash when they do see when that a lot of men when they're trying to learn what their wife can and can't handle
yep.
sometimes they fuck up and say too much. Now
100%.
they learn that they can't handle it, but
But
it's too late.
but
But
no,
it
well,
ain't too
no.
late now
So
because
here's the
they done
deal.
had something
That's a
previous.
part of the journey. That
Yeah,
is, I
I
mean,
agree.
because you don't know what they can and can't handle until you start giving them a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's
I think that a lot of times though, yes, that is probably the way we should do it. But I think a lot of guys don't give it in increments. I think a lot of guys give nothing, and then when they really stressed out and hit the wall, they kind of unload. You know what I mean? And they
They
give
do
it
a lot.
all at once,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
then now they realize, and this is why they feel so much resentment against women about that emotional thing because they like, yeah, nigga, when I was down and out and I was really fucked up, I fucking confided in you and told you some shit. And then when we got to an argument at another day, you brought that shit back up. You see what I'm saying?
Right in my
yeah,
face.
yeah,
That's it. This is why they end up never telling you nothing. This is why you can hear the bitterness in the men that'll speak so like, no, don't never tell these women nothing. See, I ain't never saying that.
yeah,
But when I hear that, it let me know, oh, he probably said some shit and it was thrown back in his face. And let me tell you something, it's already hard enough for men to be vulnerable in the first place because we have been conditioned to not be
Be
vulnerable.
vulnerable. Yeah.
So when
man.
they
Look,
finally do it, I promise you this. He'll never do. In most cases, he'll never do it again. He
Man,
will never do it because one thing a man never want to feel is two things. The number one thing is a man never want to feel like less than a man to the woman that he loves.
yep,
Mm-hmm.
If he feels like the woman he loves views him as less than, he will kill himself. He will go to jail. You know what that example is? When Will Smith was laughing at that joke
yep,
that Chris
Oh,
Rock made,
yep,
yeah.
and then his wife looked at him, he instantly felt like he was less than a man because he felt like he may have should have known that he should have defended her and he didn't know that. So what will a man do? He will instantly go and try to overprove that he's the
overcompensate.
man and
Yeah,
go smack. Same thing in outing with your girl. And he's like, man, he just called me a bitch. And she runs back, that man just called me a bitch. And she looking at you, and she looking at you to do something, right? And she looking at you to go do something because that man just called. And what 90% of men gonna go do? They gonna go crash out.
yeah,
Yeah.
They
I
don't
mean,
know it's Shaq around the corner. They don't
I
know that it was
I
Shaq.
agree.
See, she gonna leave out that detail.
No, I agree with what he said. If my man, if there was an intruder that broke in here and he said, go check on that, hell yeah, I'd be looking at him all types of crazy. For you to
Yeah.
go check on
yeah,
that. You
yeah.
supposed to
But
go
I
check
mean,
on that.
but let's be honest, man. You can only take what Cam say with a grain of salt because that motherfucker head is gone. He be on some other shit. And secondly, I've always said that I can't trust a nigga that shave his legs and oil them up and then wear shorts with boots.
Ah!
I'm just that
He's
shit is just,
definitely a weird guy. He's
yeah.
definitely a weird guy.
I
I
just
don't like
can't.
how he panders though. I did like how he took his stance on single motherhood and then he backed out. But I understand these people got sponsorships and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They gotta appeal to the people sometimes.
But
Hold
He
on.
panders too.
We got some comments. Swisher said, you don't care if we okay. Yes, I do, Swisher. I wouldn't have said nothing. Uh, Swisher said, true. Mama said, why not your wife? She is your helpmate. Clean said, men don't get into relationships unless your bread is up and you are. He said, men don't get into relationships unless your bread is up and you are established. Most of them not trying to grind with you. She will stress you more if she got to grind with you. And
Unfortunately.
Clean said, how many men drove themselves into early graves trying to protect her from knowing how much the mortgage is?
Yeah, yeah, stress.
And he said, and when you die, she will just remarry. LOL. Now I'm playing, kind of. The same goes vice versa. Don't do that. And Mama said, yeah, coming from a baby daddy with 9 kids, boy, bye. Who got 9 kids? Who the baby daddy? Oh, she talked about Cam Newton.
Come on, Cam Newton. She called him a baby daddy. That's funny. She called him a baby daddy. That is hilarious. You know what I'm
You
saying?
didn't like that terminology,
No, I thought it was funny. I mean, I think it's accurate, but I just never heard nobody call him in a baby daddy like that. But yeah, he is a baby daddy if you want to call it like that.
I mean, and I said mentioned earlier.
But a baby daddy is not an offensive term like a baby mama. Like if you call a nigga a baby daddy, it's not going to be taken away. But if you call a woman a baby daddy, it's a baby mama. It's usually meant to. It's used as a derogatory term sometimes. I agree with that.
Well, society. I'm gonna use Cam's word. I
Yeah,
made it a derogatory word, but
yeah.
going back to what Cam was talking about, and if I do have any new folks, I apologize. Welcome to Discussions with Dee Dee Parker. We've been chatting about, does society have sympathy when it comes to men, based off of this Cam Newton interview he did with Young Miami. I think, FA, that, and Mama said it didn't sound like he was fussing, but it did sound almost like he was complaining about being a provider.
No, I don't think he was complaining at all. I think he was. See, listen, it's so hard trying to teach women. I think women are so irrational sometimes that y'all don't even, men know that. So sometimes when they respond, they have to figure out a way to get you to understand. He's not probably really speaking about himself. He's rich. Like he just said, a lot of the stresses come around money. And when you
Yeah,
have a lot of money, he's not really dealing, he maybe thought everybody deal with stress, but trust me, he ain't, and from the outside looking in, it's not likely that he's dealing with the amount of stress that most people are dealing with that have to deal with trying to figure out how they're going to eat and pay the rent type of shit, right?
yeah,
But I think he wasn't complaining. I think it was actually, he was being a voice for the average experience of men, not necessarily his. He's been a superstar for a long time. He doesn't
Yeah.
have an average experience that most men deal with. You see what I mean? But he was really advocating for the average man. See what I'm saying? He's trying to let you know, like, nah, man, the average man be going through it. No, women do what I tell them to do. See, he lives in a world where his women
Yeah, yeah,
do what
yeah.
he tell them to do.
Because I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
sir, you don't even probably really for real have these problems.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I don't think he was speaking for himself.
Mama said, I consider a baby daddy a man with too many baby mamas. And Gemini Smiley said, I just juiced my watermelon for the week. I see you, Rashad. We just cut up some watermelon the other day, too.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah, I'm saying.
ain't that watermelon. I don't know. Then I brought up the fact that, as a leader, isn't that like the role to be a provider? Going back to this again, I'm sorry.
No, I think it is his job to be a provider, but I think as a role of a wife, it's supposed to be a helpmate. And to Rashad's point earlier, I think our women have become so materialistic, and so disattached from the natural order of things, at least from the Christian worldview, the natural order of things, that they've lost their ability to be a helpmate. You were actually supposed to help him through these things. See what I'm saying? But you guys don't. You guys look at help like weakness. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, in a perfect world, I agree with Rashad. He should be able to come and confide in his wife, because his wife should be a walking support system
Yeah.
that's going to and never going to look at him like less than a man. But the reality is that quote unquote support system, who's supposed to be his wife, is going to judge him. It's going to look at him a different kind of way. It's going to start to disrespect him, because women respect strength. Y'all can say what
So,
y'all want. And women view men, because they've probably been conditioned that way as well. They view men as, if they have issues or they stressed or they're going through something, they view it like weakness. They actually only believe, oh yeah, that's why they'll throw it in their face. How about this? How about this? If they don't agree with it, if they don't agree that this should be something that's affecting him, then they're going to view it as weakness. Now, if they agree that it's, oh, I can see how this is stressful, then they may not look at it him in a disrespectful way. But let them disagree. Let them not agree with why he's stressed out, and let them look at it like this is something he shouldn't be so worked up about. Oh, 100%, they're going to look at him as less than. I got me a weak man. I got me a man that can't even endure
well,
some of the things I
I
think he should.
because it depends on what you're stressing about. Because
Yeah.
if you stressing about something, maybe somebody said to you, then I'm looking at you kind of, because why are you stressing
But
about
guess what?
somebody?
As a wife, you're supposed to support, and your job is supposed to get him, and technically, supposed to get him through anything, whether you agree
But
with it
I'm
or not.
gonna be like, why would you be concerned with something somebody else might be saying? You see what I'm saying?
I don't know. That's his deficiency. First of all, I didn't say whatever he's stressed about is always valid, right?
Okay.
But guess what? We deal with it with. See, we just have practice with this, because half the shit y'all stressed about, men think is frivolous. You know how many times, half the shit y'all stressed about, you know how many times you see a woman that's not overweight saying she overweight?
Bruh.
That could be
And you know
me.
what I mean? You be looking
Bruh.
at her like,
Bruh.
and we be
Mama,
sitting there, and we got to entertain that shit.
Mama said, Rashad, put the watermelon away.
Mhm.
And
Tell your
she's
mama she gonna be stressed out on this plate next.
Mama said, I have always been a helpmate and a provider as well.
I don't know about that.
And I don't know about that. I mean, I know people like to
No,
assign titles. People love to assign titles. It's not about you, mom. But one thing I do know,
It is about that.
people say a bunch of stuff about themselves. You know what I mean? And listen, if you ask anybody about themselves, everybody is perfect. I swear to God,
100%.
everybody is the best
100%.
at this, you'd be like, oh, listen, well, where all these people at that are so fucked up?
she
Because
was
every
though.
time I
She
found
was
one, none of them.
and she had to keep a job.
You know what I would have to verify? I would need to talk to the men in your life and the significant relationships in your life to
You don't want
verify. What
Carl.
would they say about them?
Carl's
Yeah, what would Carl say about your mom? How about that?
that she was a good woman.
Yeah, okay.
He
I don't maybe
would
no.
say
Well,
that.
listen, if she a good woman, she a good woman. I'm not trying to take that away from her. I'm talking just in general. A lot of women will probably be surprised if you Kevin Samuels did a good prompt one day, and he asked that. He said, "Stop believing everything these women say, like when you first meeting them and
Yeah.
dating them." He said, "If you could talk to the men that they dated and ask them about the character of this person, a lot of times it wouldn't match the person that she described herself to be."
Mama said you don't know me. She said, ask my ex. He will tell you I was.
I just said I don't know. If you're a good
Hey,
woman, you're a good
hey,
woman.
I know her. I know her. She ain't even 5 feet.
I
She was
I ain't
eating.
trying to say you're not a good woman. You might be a good woman. You
uh,
Mm-hmm.
might be a good woman.
Mm-hmm.
let's drop some final thoughts, y'all. So we're starting the chat later since y'all are coming on later. Because the 2 hour chat, I'm still trying to upload that damn chat from yesterday. You missed a
Best
good
thing.
drive. We talked about the Democratic Party. Clean said the best thing a man can do is stay solo until he all the way up. Getting a wife family too early in your accent will drag you and stress you. And Mama said, "Be quiet, Baldy."
I do
Look,
believe that clean,
don't
clean.
don't
I
don't hate
think
because you can't rub his head. Look at it.
I,
Look at it.
I agree. I agree with that clean, clean. I'm often tell men that quote unquote mentor or give advice to uh, but it's more about being able to have better options. That's kind of why I tell them, I say, if you build yourself up, you will be more in the driver's seat of being able to select from a better pool of options when you build yourself up. When you have less than, you tend to deal with women that kind of pity you, or they look at you like a project, or and I'm telling you that never works out. It never, because women, everything is tied to the respect that they have for you. So how they talk to you is based on how much they respect you. If a woman curse you and talk to you crazy, she doesn't respect you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say. She don't respect you. Period. It don't
Hey,
even matter if you wrong. Even if you wrong in the argument, if she yell and scream and cuss you, it's because she don't respect you. But when a woman really respects you, and obviously she was raised right, she will humble herself in a sense where she will bite her tongue. She will bite her tongue and be like, even if she don't like it, you know what I'm saying? She will bite her tongue.
Well, I
And
not reached that level of maturity.
yeah, man, you can't be cursing your man. Now, so to have some balance to that, I also don't believe in calling your wife or the girl you love the B word when you get angry and calling them all kind of crazy stuff. When I see niggas do that, I'll be like, see, I don't agree with that. Like you shouldn't be cursing your woman out like she's a dog on the street. See what I'm saying? So this also includes you not talking
Crazy.
vulgar to your wife, but you can be assertive. But you shouldn't be calling her names now. I probably need to take that advice because I say retarded a lot, and my wife hates it. I'm like, what you retarded? You acting retarded? You know what I mean? I'm like, why you acting like you can't? So
Oh
you know,
gosh, that is not a nice word.
but that ain't the B word. So I don't
Well,
view that as the
Mama
same.
said men choose women for their values and not just looks. All right, what are y'all final on this?
Agree with that too.
so here's the deal, especially what you just said, Hefe. The one thing we have to remember is that being in this dating pool right now, unfortunately, there is so much bad information that has been provided to both sides to the point where everybody thinks that their interpretation of this dysfunction is, is accurate. But I I think the challenge, because just like, you were saying with Clean, he was like, hey, don't give me nobody until you get your bread up. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. And the reason why I don't agree with it is because depending on who you are as a person and what you have going on, if you're looking for a true and genuine relationship where you're seeking somebody that you can potentially build a family with and create a legacy with, if you go in with that mindset,
Hmm.
then identifying the areas and the places that you go to look for these types of people, right? That can completely put you in a different league of, or that can put you in a different pool of women, even though they're crash outs everywhere. I give you that. However, but if you, let's say, let's just use college as a start, right? If you're in college and forget college, you don't even have to be in college. If you're doing community service and stuff around and you're helping people and you're, not being selfish out here to the world, you are going to put yourself in a different environment where there are different types of people that have similar types of values. Mm-hmm. So if you find yourself a person that gives back to society, and you find a way to attract a person that gives back to society, more often than not, that's going to be a great start to build something together.
Yeah,
but
sure.
if you're a selfish individual that's just out there just trying to, I'm just trying to fuck creating purpose in life. I'm just out here trying to get mine. Nigga, if all you're trying to do is get yours, you're going to attract other chicks that are out there trying to get theirs. Y'all getting together, you're going to get what you're going to get.
I agree with that.
And so, like I said, it all depends on who you are and what your character is. Because we got a lot of dudes that are talking about, man, ain't no good chicks out here. And let's just be honest, nigga, you ain't no good nigga.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And that's just real shit. Like some of my fraternity brothers, I'll be having conversations with them. And nigga, we old now. We in our 40s and they still talking about yellow bones. Like, nigga, fuck. It's like, nigga, you can have it's like you can have a preference, but nigga, you ain't no good nigga.
That's true. I agree with that. But
go ahead.
I just think it's so easy. See how easy it is for me to agree with that? It would be so hard for women to agree. Like if you hear women say, "Yeah, ain't no good women out here," and there are good women out here. You see how I didn't say there are good men out here, and I just said, "No, I agree." There's a bunch of niggas that think that they are probably good, and they're not. That doesn't mean there aren't any good men out here. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I don't have to keep defending the good. The good, I can just acknowledge the bad. You know what I mean? Why? I can relate.
But to the point that I made, there are some women out there that when I have these same types of conversations and dialogues, they agree that it ain't no good women out there either. Case in point, Diddy. He does that all the time.
I agree. So, it's just not common. It's not as common.
But here's the deal. What is your environment when you are around these types of women? Who are these women in your life? Right?
They don't have to be in my life. I think just society. They don't have to be like personal people in my life. I'm just observing of society.
Right, fair enough. But watch this though. The environments that you're in, right?
Yeah.
The environments that I'm in, I can go and I can have elevated conversations.
Yeah.
Right? When you're having elevated conversations, there is a certain level of thinking. There's like a barometer, right? Of bullshit that is not even addressed. Now,
you measure that? But how about this? But I bet you can measure it. Watch this, because it's not always about who you're around. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
What if you had to put a numerical percentage to it?
Mm-hmm.
What is the percentage that you can have a higher level conversation with, and the amount of people that you can meet there, and what is the percentage of people that you believe in society or people that you know that are on that lower level tier that you were just describing? Because you said an elevator. So what do you think the difference is?
So, I mean, and that's a hard thing just because I'm not in every environment. Right.
But you don't got to be there.
I'm aware, but I mean, I got to be honest because I know a lot of people that are in that elevated arena. But
14% of Americans invest in the stock market.
Yeah.
We know that the majority of people are not in certain conversations. We don't have to act like it's like hard to be able to figure out. We know most people that are in the know. The people that are in the know are amongst the smaller amount, and there is a lot more of the lower level as far as knowledge or the ability to have vast understandings and conversation. The majority of people know very like surface level stuff. We know that. Come on, man. We know this. People still don't know what the three credit bureaus are. And I'm willing to bet 50% of Americans couldn't name the three credit bureaus. 50% of adults could not name the three credit bureaus.
bureaus. Hold on, let me read some of these comments. Y'all get your final thoughts together because I do
Okay,
not want
you're
to
right.
show.
Okay.
Mama said, how do you know she doesn't want you just for what you got? And Mama said, two selfish people. Clean said, gotta love them yellow bones, though. I bet you do, clean. Gemini Smiley's laugh. Clean said, shout out to all the dudes in the toxic king era. Give them hell. That is bad advice. And Mama said, them baby mamas at they LOL. All right. Can y'all keep this to
Yeah, I'm gonna keep.
a
Yeah,
minute?
I'm 1 minute. Yeah, I
Okay.
think to sum it up, I think that there are responsibilities and roles that men are tasked with, and I believe in them. I'm gonna teach them, and I believe they're supposed to be burdened by the man. I don't view the world as right, wrong, and fair and unfair all the time. It doesn't matter if it's fair or not. I don't care. It's your job, and do it. Obviously, I do believe in being able to communicate, but I believe certain things should be communicated with your friends, your male friends, and maybe some women you trust, like your mama or somebody like that. But your wife should not have to endure some of those things. Obviously, there's some things she can, but there's then some things I don't think that she should. So I agree with Cam Newton. Yeah, society doesn't care. I tell people that about men, and I'm a part of that society. I don't care either. So you know what I mean. I'm not. I'm not.
I was
No,
gonna
I'm
ask
just
how
saying
you
I don't care. I'm.
talking
I'm.
about
I'm
you
being
don't
honest.
care.
You think I care about a nigga that lost his job that I don't know? You know what I mean? I can have empathy, but do I care? No, I really don't care. I don't really know nothing. Really, you know what I'm saying? I just don't. I just don't play these games, these word games to make people feel bad. I'm just more real life. Yes, I don't want him to lose his job, but to care is a whole nother thing. And the world doesn't care. And I understand the world doesn't owe you understanding. It doesn't matter that you're a baby mother of 3 kids with 3 different guys, but you had good intentions with all of them. I'm gonna say I don't care. It doesn't matter. Everybody's going to judge you by your. The world doesn't care. The world doesn't care. It doesn't matter that you were hungry. It doesn't matter. How about this? It doesn't matter that you're John Q and you need to make money to save your son. If you rob a bank, you're going to jail because the world doesn't care. That's
That
the
was
reality that we live in.
a good movie too. Oh my gosh, that movie
Mhm. That's
cried.
it.
Rashad, can you get it down? Can you get it into a minute?
No, 100%. Oh,
Okay.
I can do a minute. He can do 2.5, but I can do a minute.
Well, do
Okay,
what you need to do to make the point.
gotcha. So here's the deal.
First
Here's the deal.
chest.
We have to understand that society should not be the barometer because society is wrong about most stuff. And when we start following society does this and society does that, and ain't nobody gonna care about you, that's just the way of the world. Well, here's the deal. At some point, we have to understand that you don't have to accept the world as it is. We have given, yeah, exactly, dear guys. We've given up on the fact that God has put something within all of us to be able to change the world and have it to look according to the way that He would have it to look.
Uh,
We are out here. We are supposed to be changing the world, but it's such a hard task that no one wants to accept it. And
mhm.
the point that I make to everybody is if we all accepted it together, we would truly be able to make impact in the areas in which it matters most. Case in point, voting, right? Nobody is happy. But if we truly just put all of the left and the right to the side, got together and said, what is right? And we are going to hold everybody that is over this legislative pen, we're going to hold them accountable for what's right. That is how change would occur. There was a high school that he played college football at Ole Miss. I think it's Ole Miss. He plays college football. One black kid. They have a Confederate flag that's associated with some of the stuff that they do, right? He said, man, y'all fly that flag one more time, I ain't playing. One man, he tweeted it. All of the players that saw it, they said the same thing. The coach went right to the president. It's like, fuck this. Take that shit down.
I think it's important to know that everybody, the issue with that is everybody don't agree on what's right. You're a Democrat and your party doesn't agree with abortion. So we're not going to always agree on things
Here's the
because
point. Here's the point that I
we
made.
don't agree on what's right.
The point that I made, because we're always ready to rebuttal and debate, right? The
Right.
point that I made, let's get together and define what is right to us, because we agree on more things that we disagree on. And that's the point.
But what about the things? I agree with that, but how do you
And
navigate the things
then
you disagree on?
once we identify the things that we agree on, those are the things that we go and we hold the leaders accountable for.
But Rashad,
Okay, all
you
right,
gotta talk to people that think that this
it's
administration
right.
is doing something wrong.
Here's the deal.
Exactly.
But once again, I'm not talking specific anything at the top. What I am saying, let us come together and
That's how we start.
identify. That's the people
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah. That's
understand.
how
You
we
got to
start.
start from the
Yeah, you got to
beginning.
start somewhere. Yeah, I got
You
you.
got
I
to
feel what you're
start
saying.
from the beginning. Let us
Yeah,
identify what the fucking barometer is. I can tell you
yeah,
one thing: the majority of the world knows the barometer is not touching fucking kids.
yeah.
Mm.
I guarantee that's a place to start.
I
Because
don't
it's
know,
only a
man.
few, it's a few motherfuckers out there that's trying to perpetuate that. But for 85% of the rest of the fucking nation, we agree on that. And that is definitely somewhere that we can start. But like I said, my minute is over. But once again, for all of this stuff, right? We need to identify what the elements are that we all agree with, men and women, and get away from the competition, right?
Yeah.
Let's get away from the roles. Let's get away from all of this other stuff and just talk about what is it that we agree on when it comes to relationships, and start there. We start there. We strengthen that foundation. Once we're solid, that's where we take it to the next level. Once we strengthen that, then that's what we take to the next level. The problem is that we always have agitators, and we allow the agitators to come in and just wreck shit. Just goofy ass niggas are just giggling and laughing and, all this other shit. We got to put, we can't let them infiltrate.
Hmm.
And so the point that I'm making is that regardless of what side of the coin you're on, what is it that we both agree with?
Yeah, that's a starting
Figure
point.
that
I
shit out.
respect that.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, y'all. New time, 3:00. Discussions with Dee Parker. I have no
What
final
time is
thoughts.
it where you're at right now?
It is
Or
4:54.
Oh, so we're on the same time zone. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah, 3:00 because I was coming on at 2:30 and then we're on here for 2.5 hours. I'm trying to download these videos to YouTube and it's not working. So, okay, we got to keep this to at least an hour and a half. But we still went 2 hours, but it was a good conversation. We're back tomorrow at 3:00. Thank you, Rashad. Thank you, FA. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Everybody else, good evening.